Yo, yo, yo. Welcome back to the Canadelic Podcast. Back on Wednesday, 7:10. Glad you're able to join us this morning. Hope everybody's having a good week to start. I know I'm having a good week. You know why? Because I am married now. That's right. Nurse Colleen and I got married at the Pennsylvania Cannabis Festival. I'm sure you've seen the video. We broadcast it live on several channels. If you haven't seen it, go take a look. It is as hippie of a wedding as you could imagine at the Cannabis Festival. And my jacket is amazing, but Nurse Colleen absolutely looks stunning. So if you haven't checked that out, go and check that out, please. And while we're talking about weddings, there's a very interesting wedding that happened a few months ago here in Florida, but it's getting a lot of news now, where the bride infused all the food without telling anyone at the event. So I know, look, we've all thought about it, right? We've all dreamed about what if I just infused all the food and gave it to all these people, especially like your family, right? Especially if like there are two families coming together, and you have these Thanksgiving dinners or family get-togethers, and you always have what it would be, political arguments or just family dynamics, and you're just like, oh, I wish all these people would just take some edibles. Well, this lady apparently took it to the next extreme and infused the entire dinner that they were serving for all the guests. So there was about 50 guests with cannabis oil, and did not tell them that she was doing that. So I know we've thought about it, but the ramifications, the realities of doing something like this are far different than the imagination. And you know what we do have, which is amazing, is we have body cam footage. That's right, body cam footage of when the police arrived. So there's so many things to take from here. Here, we're going to start it now. There's so many.
Hey guys, we are giving out a ton.
We're gonna not play the commercials.
One of these DeWalt samples today.
Let's mute that. I would have uploaded this for you, but it was giving me some trouble this morning. Here we go. I will unmute over here. You can see.
Yes, sir. All right.
You can see the police arriving here. Good. You guys can see that.
Where are they at over here?
And the ambulances, of course, because it is a major emergency.
You guys with catering? Yeah, don't put anything away yet.
Uh-oh. Don't put any catering, so they're out of there.
You can take that back inside, bud.
Yeah, don't leave yet.
Yeah, we're trying to figure out who put it in the food, whether it was a guest at a catering company or.
The bride room are right across here.
That's who we got to talk to.
Okay.
Thank you.
Awesome. Quick, I got
Is
to
it?
get.
Is it?
What would you suggest I do? Well, I would not drive in your condition, so you want to take like an
How
Uber.
far
Yeah.
away are they?
They're just like, yeah, go home. What should I do?
Bride and
So
groom?
I don't think that
Your bride and groom?
the guests
Okay,
are
questions for you.
cannabis people.
Apparently, supposedly, your food had cannabis inside of it when your guests eat it. Did you guys authorize that?
Look at the bride.
I have no idea.
She is so
I
smiley.
just need a yes or no, man. Did you guys authorize it for the catering company to have cannabis placed in the food, edibles, whatever the case may be?
No, sir.
Okay. I just need both of your IDs, so your license.
An actual denial would be like, what? Why would I do that?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
Sort it out. I need your IDs, though.
Yes, sir.
We have people complaining of being sick and everything else. And
Uh-oh.
Is it everybody, or is
that's
it,
a lot of people. There's at least 3 or 4 people right now.
'Cause
Yeah.
I just walked our daughter home and came back, and I saw all these trucks here, and I was like, everyone was like, "What's going on? What's going on?" Some people said a couple of people weren't feeling well or something like that. But
Well, the
That's
way
because
that we're
you gave
getting
them
it is that
weed.
people think that the food was laced with cannabis. This is what we're trying to figure out if it was.
Look at the
it
police
was,
using
but
the
we're
word
trying to figure out who
cannabis.
placed that cannabis
right,
there.
right.
Whether it was the caterers on their own accord or
I'm
was
loving
with their
that.
permission or what happened.
It could have been. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. People here are, consume marijuana.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it's, I think people probably had. I wouldn't be surprised if people had like their own edibles, but as
Yeah.
far as people,
If people
not
have their
knowing,
own personal and they're
people not
ingesting it,
knowing about it, though,
that's one thing.
That's what I'm kind of a little.
But if somebody put it in the food for everybody, including minors or whatever the case
Uh-oh.
might be,
Right.
then that's where the problem kind of lies.
Absolutely.
So if you don't mind,
Absolutely.
just I know you might not have your wallet on
I
you,
don't
but
think I do, sir.
if you can get your ID for us at some point,
Yes,
that'd
absolutely.
be great.
Everybody seems a little
Fire
high.
department's seen about 3 more people up at the entrance that aren't feeling good. So everyone's
Seriously?
yeah. Might be transporting a couple more people to the hospital because of this.
To the hospital.
So
So
Is there any food inside at all?
it seems
Is there any
like
food taken from here?
some of the guests saw the bride. They saw the bride taking a herb-like oil, a green oil, and adding it to the olive dipping sauce for like the bread. You know, you've seen that olive dipping sauce. This is one of the best edibles, by the way, because you're using olive oil, and you can kind of control the dosing a little bit better, and it tastes really good. And who doesn't love bread and olive oil, especially with like a cannabis flavor to it? Apparently, she was spooning this stuff in there. Apparently, some of the other food was infused, and nobody at the wedding was told. So, Colleen and I got married kind of spur of the moment. And it was at a cannabis festival. And if we could have had a wedding cake that was infused, we sure as hell would have. But we're not going to give it to people without telling them. I mean, that's crossing the line a little bit. I've had dreams of, passing out the mushroom Kool-Aid at a MAGA rally or something like that, just to kind of open people's eyes. But when they're not expecting it, and you know how like sometimes you take an edible and you get a little paranoid, or you start to feel a little bit weird, and then you realize, oh yeah, I took an edible. That's cool. I'm supposed to feel like that because I took an edible. But when you don't realize that you took something, then you're like, what the fuck is going on with me? Did I take an edible? Did I forget that I took an edible? I've actually forgotten that I took an edible before several times. And I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot I ate that. But it does not seem to be the case here. So if you're having a party, tell people. I mean, even when we were planning a big wedding, we were going to have infused food and non-infused food, hypothetically. But you would label it. You would tell people what's infused. You would tell people what's not, unless you're trying to get people to all kind of be happy. I don't know what they were thinking. If they thought nobody would notice, if they thought people would be appreciative. Apparently, the woman that saw the bride adding the mixture to the oil confronted the bride and said, "Did you put anything? Did you put cannabis in the food?" And she like smiled at her in a way that the woman thought she was saying it was like a gift. It was like, you should say thank you that I infused it. And what's funny is that I could totally see that. I could totally see like, of course it's infused. You're welcome. that would kind of be my response as well. But that's not the way to go about things. I mean, and I know it sounds like the reason I wanted to talk about it is because it sounds like such a great plan. It sounds like, you know what, we'll just get everybody together and give them all edibles. World peace, right? That was our solution for world peace. Or my solution was roll a huge ass joint and light it off the sun. That was my take on that. But you can't do that because, you don't know how that's going to affect people. What if somebody has to take a drug test? That's another thing. What if they have to drive? I mean, unless it didn't seem nefarious from the look on the bride's face over there. It didn't seem like it was something that was like she was trying to hurt people. Just really absent-minded. And yes, you may love edibles. You may love it, but it's not okay to just randomly infuse food and give it to people. And I would love to do that. Look, I'm the guy that used to walk around in college with a trench coat handing out mushrooms to people, but they were mushrooms. And I said, hey, these are magic mushrooms. Be careful. Or even better, making brownies in college and giving them away. And people would ask for more of them because they were small, like little brownies. And people would eat them and then not feel anything for 15, 20 minutes. And they'd ask for another one. And I would go through the whole, are you sure you want another one? They're really strong. And inevitably, I need another one. They eat another one. Then they'll go out to the bar. And bar is only a block from my house. Come back about half hour later, just totally done, sitting on the couch. I warned you, but people don't heed warnings. Anyway, it's Wednesday, and about to get down with the middle of the week. It was a great trip to Pennsylvania. Left single, came back a married man. Well, not single. Left engaged, came back a married man. And definitely love my wife, and I'm looking forward to our life together, which is going to involve a lot of Canadelic stuff, such as Canadelic FIU, Canadelic EDU at FIU coming together really nicely. And that's going to be July 9th and 10th. July 9th and 10th. And that's at Florida International University. And then we are also going to have the next huge Canadelic Miami, again, the beginning of February 3rd through 5th, 3 days this time. And that's going to be in February. I am excited for that as well as a whole bunch of other things going on. Before then, I'm excited. You're excited. We're all excited. And we're going to get the day started. So hope you guys have a great Wednesday. I'll see you tomorrow. And don't infuse anything and give it to people without their knowledge. That's the tip of the day. Peace out.